Good evening, Andy. I think frustrating is the key word today after that 1-0 defeat at home to Alfreton Town.
Yeah, absolutely. Very frustrated because for me, over the 95 to 96 minutes, we were definitely worthy of some out of the game. Very fine margins. We knew that. We knew exactly how the way Alfreton would play. Big, strong, physical, compete for all balls, similar to how we play at times. I thought we matched them for that. It was disappointing the goal they got because we probably switched off. It was one of the very few chances of the game, and ultimately we've still had good spells of pressure, even when we went down to 10 men for obviously a long period of the game. And to come out away with it with nothing, it is disappointing.
Without speaking specifically about incidents today and decisions that went against us, and we do feel there were a few today that didn't help us, you've got to look at the positives there and look at the way that squad played. Like we say, with 10 men for such a long period of the game. Although we didn't open up Alfreton, we had so much of the possession, we just kept on going.
Yeah, like you said, the credit to the boys because they've played probably 40 minutes with 10 men in a hot day, and they've put a lot in the last week, 2 weeks. Everyone would see that. We've not had a massive group of players due to injury, so it's been the same 15, 16. They had a tough night at Boston. They got a chasing for 20 minutes there, come through it. We trained Thursday. So there were some tired legs out there, and like you said, when things have not gone your way and key decisions have gone against you, and you've got 40 minutes left to play and you're losing 1-0, to rally round like they did, when you're down to 10, I think was credit to them. And like you said, if you'd have come into this game for the last half an hour, would you have known who had 10 men? I don't think you would, because we had a lot of possession. Okay, that was their game plan. They sat back and soaked it up. Defended really well, limited their opportunities, but I think there's a lot of credit the boys can take from that. And I look at it, we've played 4 games now. We're perfectly able to compete with the teams we've seen so far, so that's a good yardstick from where we've come. Yeah, we've got 6 points, we wanted 3 more today, of course we did, but we haven't got them. But we'll move on from that, and I think the signs in the first 3 weeks are really good.
I think sometimes you look at moments in games where, say for example at Spennymoor, we were clinical, we got some second balls in the box, and today just didn't seem to fall for us in that way, and that's football, isn't it?
Yeah, that sometimes they drop, sometimes they don't. It didn't really drop us in the box. They got some blocks in, and whereas the other night and perhaps last week at Spennymoor it dropped nicely and we've scored, it didn't happen today. The keeper made a couple of saves, nothing really went for us. Little key decisions didn't go our way, they went theirs, and unfortunately in a tight game you need the key things to go your way. They didn't. But so I was proud of the shift they put in. They didn't cave in, which I never thought they would, because that's not the group I've got. They're disappointed in there. Of course they're disappointed because they felt they deserved something out of the game, and they didn't think they got the rub of the green in a lot of respects. But that's football, and like I said, there's no point moaning about it. We've got to move on from it and go again next week.
Absolutely, and I think if you're looking at this, take a step back from the actual result today. 4 games into this new league, and 6 points on the board out of the 12, arguably could have more, should have more, and playing in the way that we are, you must be really proud with the way that the squad are progressing so far.
Yeah, I'm delighted. 4 games with some bits that I'm annoyed about, as in today, I go back to the Scunthorpe game, thought that was very unjust, but as a manager you take the ups and downs. We've probably had some decisions across the board in other games which have gone our way. That's football. We've had a couple of chances today, we've had one right at the end where if you get that 1-0 becomes a good result in the circumstances. We didn't take it. Nothing really dropped for us. But yeah, overall, I don't think we've got players to come back from injury. I think the squad's looking good, and I'll say we're 6 points to the good, if you like.
I'm sure the loss today won't dent. You said they're down, but it won't dent their confidence too much now. We've got a week now until we face Farsley Celtic away, and I'm sure we'll be going there with plenty of confidence.
Yeah, it won't dent the confidence. They know they've got a good group. They know they'll bounce back. What I've got is lads who believe in what we're doing. The disappointment is because they know there was points there today and they probably should have got some. That's the disappointment, and I'd expect them to be like that. Just how I feel, just how you feel, just how most of the supporters here feel today. We did enough to get some out of the game. I don't think it was at our best. Like you said, we didn't open them up like we have other teams, but that's the nature of how they played as well. Credit to them. We didn't get a lot of joy in certain areas. The boys are disappointed, but I'd expect them to be. But they've got loads of belief, and I'm sure they'll be bouncing back this time next week.
Let's hope so, and until then, it's goodbye from us.
Cheers, fellas.